So we will discuss about different cases in thermal stresses. Okay, so first case 1 is free expansion or free contraction. Okay, listen one thing, I'm going to talk everything about increasing the temperature. Okay, that is delta T is what I can say, it's positive. Delta T in sense final minus initial, right, which means 30, if I'm increasing from 20 to 30, it is 30 minus 20. So delta T will be positive, whatever I'm talking, whatever I'm going to talk. If delta T is, that's what we are going to discuss, but only one small change you need to do. Okay, so I will say that in between itself. What is that? In case of free expansion, if I increase the temperature, it's going to expand freely. If I'm going to decrease it, it's going to contract freely. So expanding means delta will be positive, contracting means delta will be negative. That's it. That is the only thing. Strain will be positive, strain will be negative. So free expansion or contraction. So one side is fixed, other side is free. So if I increase the temperature by delta T, what will happen? There is going to be increase in the length. Okay, length is going to get increased. So initially L, it's increasing by some amount. Let me take it as delta L, and we already know this delta L is nothing but alpha delta T into L, right? So the formula is known. So this delta L by L, if I bring L to the denominator, so delta L by L is equal to alpha delta T. That is thermal strain. Okay, so thermal strain is nothing but delta L by L, which is equal to alpha delta T. And in this case, will it be any stress? Actually, there is no stress because it is expanding freely, so there is no reaction force. So stress is 0, but thermal strain will be there. Okay, that is our first case. Okay, next I have the next case is there is a rod. Okay, there is a rod which is completely constrained in axial direction. So both sides there was fixed support. Okay, second case is rod which is completely constrained in both the direction, in axial direction, which means if I increase the temperature by delta T, okay, there is no possibility for strains because it's completely constrained. It is completely constrained, which means epsilon in the direction, in axial direction, will be 0. Epsilon will be 0, but there is going to be stress because of reaction developed in this fixed support. So stress, thermal stresses will be there, but thermal strain in axial direction, that is very important. And similarly, thermal stress in axial direction, I am talking only about axial direction. Don't ask me what about y direction is the direction. In y direction is the direction, it's going to expand freely. I'm not going to worry about that now. Okay, so I will talk about that later. Okay, for now, I'm considering only axial direction. So epsilon T is 0, sigma T is there. And how to determine this sigma T? This sigma T is coming due to the compressive force or the compressive reaction force which is developed, right? So what you do, just listen to me. I will just say this like what I can say, like an example, so that it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, let us consider initially it is at a temperature 20 degree. Okay, so actual length at 20 degrees Celsius. So this is how it looks. Okay, so the length is L. Initially it is at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, if there is no restriction here, okay, if there is no restriction here, it can expand freely, right? If there is no restriction, it can expand freely. So I am just taking it as normal length. Okay, normal length at 30 degree. That is, I am increasing the temperature and I am considering there is no restriction. There is no restriction in one side. So if there is no restriction, so this is the initial length and this will be the increase in length. And why it is happening? Because of the free expansion. Why it is freely expanding? Due to, that is nothing but the thermal expansion, right? That I am taking it as delta T. Okay, so this is thermal expansion delta T. If there is no restriction, it can expand freely. That is delta T, thermal expansion, right? And we already know what is the value of that, alpha delta T into L. Okay, but in fact it's not expanding freely. Okay, it is not expanding freely, it is restricted. Okay, it is restricted. If it is restricted, what is the actual length? What is the actual length at 30 degrees? That is, it is restricted, which means it is not getting expanded. Its actual length was same L. Okay, why the actual length was same L? Because this this support is offering a reaction force in the opposite direction. So it is offering a reaction force in opposite direction, that is R. And due to this reaction force, this much amount of deflection, okay, this much amount of deflection which could have been freely expanded is getting restricted due to this reaction force, and this much amount of deflection is getting restricted. Okay, that I will take it as delta R. Listen, delta T is the normal length at 30 degree, but that is due to thermal expansion, but that thermal expansion is restricted due to this fixed support, and this fixed support is offering a reaction force, a compressive reaction force, that is making to decrease this delta T. Okay, that's it, the problem has been done. Now what I can say about what is the conclusion which I can give after increasing the temperature from 20 to 30. So here delta T is 30 degree minus 20 degree, that is 10 degrees Celsius. So due to increase in this temperature of 10 degrees Celsius, what is the net expansion happening in axial direction? There is no expansion, right? Initially it was length L, finally it was length L. Okay, so net expansion is 0, and a net expansion is 0 in the sense, what are all the components of net expansion? First component is free expansion. It's going to expand it freely. It is expanding it freely, so plus delta T, but that delta T is getting restricted by the reaction R, so that is minus delta R, that is equal to 0. Okay, so how much it is getting expanded, that much it is getting compressed. So how much it is getting expanded, that much it is getting compressed due to the reaction force R. That's it, the problem has been solved. Now substitute it. What is delta T? Delta T is alpha delta T into L. Okay, plus what is minus delta R? Okay, I will just keep it as minus. I will just take this minus here. Okay, what is delta R here? Simple. It is a compressive reaction force. So it is something like an axial load, right? This reaction force R is something like an axial load which is acting over an area A, okay, of a length L. And let me take Young's modulus of the material is E. Then what will be the deflection? Deflection due to axial loading. So deflection due to axial loading is nothing but PL by AE. Here it is R, because the force is R, compressive force is R, right? So that is equal to 0. And what is this R by A? What is this R by A? This R by A is nothing but the thermal stress which is developed in the body. Okay, this fixed support is offering a reaction force. That reaction force per unit area is nothing but thermal stresses. So that is sigma T. So alpha delta T L minus, I will take it as sigma T or small t, okay, into L by E, that is equal to 0. So L I can cancel, or let me bring this total term to right hand side, so it will become equal to, okay, it will become equal to, so L gets cancelled, so sigma T will be equal to alpha delta T into E, and sigma T will be negative if it is compressive, okay, if the stresses are compressive. When it will be compressive? When temperature increases, okay. When temperature increases, it will try to expand freely, so it's going to offer a compressive stress, and this sigma T will be positive if it is positive in the sense it is tensile, right? When it will be tensile, when temperature is decreased, that is when delta T is negative, this will try to contract, but the fixed support is going to offer a reaction in tensile direction. So, which implies temperature decreases. So you need to remember that also, when thermal stress will be compressive and when thermal stresses will be tensile. So let us consider the next case. In this case, there was a tapered bar which is fixed at both the ends. Okay, so in both the ends it is fixed and it is tapered. And if I increase the temperature, if the temperature difference becomes delta T, okay, so what is going to happen? Let me take diameter at this end is capital D, diameter at this end is small d. So if it is increased, if the temperature is increased by an amount of delta T, what is going to happen? It's very simple. It will try to expand freely. So there will be thermal, there will be free expansion, thermal expansion, but there will be resistance. Okay, there will be reaction force, and due to that there will be restriction minus delta R, that is equal to 0. So delta T is equal to delta R, right? I can just take this minus sign there. I will take the reaction force which is developed here is R. Okay, the reaction force which is developed here is R. So delta T, okay, delta T is nothing but alpha delta T into L. Let the length be L. Okay, so alpha delta T into L. That is equal to delta R is nothing but this reaction, due to this reaction. R PL by AE only, PL by A. Which area I need to consider? The area here I need to consider was pi by 4 D into D. Okay, so generally area of a circle, if it is a uniform cross section, pi by 4 D square. Since it is a tapered bar, I need to consider pi by 4 D into D. Okay, into Young's modulus E. Now L I can cancel. Okay, and do the rearrangements. What will be R value? R will be equal to, just I am bringing this pi by 4 dd there and E also that side. So what will happen? Alpha delta T into alpha delta T into pi by 4 dd into E. Okay, so this is what I got as R value. This R is nothing but the compressive reaction which is offered by the fixed support. Okay, this is the compressive reaction offered by the fixed support. Now, if I want to find stress, okay, in general, if I want to design something, I need to take the maximum stress only. I need to check where is the maximum stress it is acting, as that is our critical section, as we already discussed in the first chapter when we are discussing about stress strain diagram, right? So, maximum stress, if I want to find maximum stress, generally stress is nothing but load by area. Okay, here load is nothing but the reaction, okay, reaction force. And if I want the maximum stress, then area should be minimum, because if denominator is less, okay, as denominator decreases, numerator is going to increase, right? So as denominator decreases, this is going to be increased. So simply R by A minimum. So R is this. So sigma max is equal to alpha delta T pi ddE by 4, the whole divided by, what is minimum area? This is our minimum area, right? This is our minimum area. So that is pi by 4 d square. This t will get cancelled. 4 pi will get cancelled. So finally, what is our sigma max? Alpha delta T. There is one d which is left out, right? So that d should be considered. Alpha delta T E into d by denominator there was one d. Okay, and again this maximum stress will be compressive. It will be compressive if delta T is positive, which means temperature increases, and this will be tensile if delta T is negative, which means temperature decreases.